Next team, let's talk about the Utah Jazz. The Utah Jazz, who last year worst record in the league, 17-65, but made some moves this offseason. Some questionable, but some finally maybe leading to maybe the resurgence in the next few seasons. Drafting Ace Bailey at 5. Him falling to them at 5, which I think was going to turn out great for them. Walter Clayton Jr. at 18. But then they moved on from some veteran guys and they didn't really get a whole lot of guys back for them. They traded John Collins to the Clippers. All they got back was Kyle Anderson and Kevin Love. They traded Colin Sexton to the Charlotte Hornets, only getting back Yusuf Nurkic, and they bought out Jordan Clarkson. He goes to the Knicks, didn't really get a whole lot back there. So this is their team. Of course, thank the Lord, they're going back to the old purple mountain looks. They've got some of the best jerseys in the league now. Cannot wait for that. But as far as the actual team, nothing that special. A whole lot of young guys that are going to need to develop here. Nick, what is something you want to talk about with the Jazz?
Well, to me, it's pretty simple with Utah. The season's going to be about two things. It's either one, you're going to see who can play with Laurie, like which guys on the roster, Walter Clayton, Ace Bailey, which young guys can play with him, or you're going to assess those guys' play styles and figure out what a good package in return would be to pair with who's remaining. That's what I think is going to be figured out this year in Utah, or at least what they should have their goal to be to figure out. Is either who are we going to bring in if we're going to keep Laurie and pair with him, or who's going to stay here, and then what are their play styles and what do we need to bring in to pair with them?
Yeah, 100% agree. I wouldn't forget about Isaiah Collier. I think he's someone we should keep an eye on who could potentially be a solid guy and that starting point guard if Clayton Jr. takes a little bit. As much as I love Clayton Jr., he's more of a big shot kind of guy and not maybe the traditionalist point guard like Collier is. And Collier could definitely get Bailey and Markkanen the ball. Nurkic is a good backup big. Looking at this roster, it's like, who are they going to keep? They got 16 guys right there. They got a lot of young guys. They got to figure out who they're going to keep, who are they going to believe in, who are they going to give a chance. But yeah, it's really about who they got, plug and play, who's going to fit well, and focus on the next year.
Yeah, Ben, what are your thoughts? Who are the young guys that you're looking to stand out with the Jazz this year?
I'm intrigued by Kyle Filipowski because summer league he was looking dominant there at times, and I think he could be something for them. I think he could turn out to be like a guy that just plug in as a good scorer. Sometimes it could play some pretty good defense. There's a good versatility. I'm thinking that he's going to be playing good enough this year to where he's going to be a guy they're going to want to keep around. Well, at the seed, that's just what I'm thinking going into the year. And I think, Collier, just hope he proves even more. He's a solid point guard. I'm intrigued to see what East Bailey can do with Devin his rookie year, how he fits in, but I believe he could be pretty good. Maybe Clayton could become something, eventually in the future. I'm interested in seeing if they play Walter Clayton, like big shot situations and all, to see what he can do there in the NBA now. And they got Walker Kessler still.
Yep.
He's always been a pretty good defender for them near the rim. Not too sure how they'll keep going about him, but he's young, so they'll be playing him this year, or need to play him this year. And like what Nick said, I mean, I agree with Nick. They really got to figure out if they should keep Lowry around, or if they could find a package or packages that could potentially help them get better for the future. So they just trade them. That's a good point.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a season about figuring out which of these young guys stick. Like you already said, Collier's a good point guard. Keontae George has been good, but he's also had the ball a whole lot. He hasn't been the most efficient. So we'll see how he plays now that there are other guards that can legitimately take his minutes. Excited to see what we get out of Walter Clayton. Hopefully, Cody Williams plays better than last year because last year was abysmal. We know Nick loves that guy, but he
All right.
didn't do him that well out last year. Taylor Hendricks will return after the horrible injury to start last year. He'll be back. Bryce Sensabaugh is still there. Really, I'm just excited to see if Ace Bailey can finally be the first cornerstone piece for this Jazz rebuild, because this is the third we're going into, I believe, the third year of the rebuild, and they have not had, a legitimate, guy that you can really, think to build around yet.
Yeah.
With that team. So Ace Bailey is going to get a lot of shots. I don't know how many of them he'll make, but he'll get a lot of shots this season. And we're going to get to see if he can show flashes of being the number one scorer guy for the Jazz going forward. So that'll be the number one thing to probably watch, as well as Lauri Markkanen, who's currently, destroying in Eurobasket right now, how he plays for the Jazz coming off of, another overseas tournament.
I'm calling it right now. The finisher is going to be an all-star this year.